for the ones who are not free. Love can take us higher, reveal the way to greater love. We let it wash over us. We let it make us kinder. We let it make us better. We let it be. We let it early in the morning. We let it hold us together. We let it now and forever. We let it be. We let it. Still some cry along the way, walking through the sadness, for a world that needs to know love can take us higher, reveal the way to greater love. Oh yeah. So the truth keeps telling me love's the only answer, and to all humanity we can stay inspired, reveal the way to greater love. So we let it wash over us. We let it make us kinder. We let it make us better. We let it be. We let it early in the morning. We let it hold us together. We let it now and forever. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the Lord wash over us. We let it be. We let the rain wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over us. Oh, we let we let the love wash over us. We let.
Purpose statement. Our purpose is to create a spiritual community that recognizes that there is one presence and one power in the universe, God. Daily, we actively practice this spiritual truth. We open our heart space to each person to acknowledge one another as expressions of God. It is in each other that we see God.
May our hearts be open. May our hearts be open.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to today's Open Heart Spiritual Center virtual service. I want to thank you for joining us today. And I'd like to start off today by, if you will join me, I greet you, I bless you, and I see the God in you. And as we recognize and realize that I see the God in you, you see the God in me, we see the God in each and every single one of us, because that same source is within all things. And so I'm grateful to be here for this opportunity this morning. I know that we've had a busy week and lots is going on. And so I just want to ask you to set that week aside, set it aside right now, and take a breath. And now is the time to turn within and be present. Be present for the music, for the reading, and for the message. And I just give thanks for each and every single one of you that are joining us today and for all that take part in this service today. I am so grateful for our Open Heart Spiritual Center and for the message that we send out, and that I just pray and know and allow ourselves to set the intention that our message is heard by so many others, and that it just continues to spread and to grow and to build, and we continue to evolve. And so share it with your friends, and let them know that when you come to Open Heart, it's all about love. We're all here to be loving beings on this planet, and that's really our one job. We all think that we need to go to work and do this and do that, but our one job is just to be a loving presence. And so right now, let's turn within and allow ourselves to recognize and realize that, just love. To love each and every single moment, to love every breath, and to take this time right here and right now and to just love yourself, and to give yourself this time and this opportunity, and to remember that not only this time to love yourself and in this moment, but in each and every single moment, loving our thoughts and putting those out into our world, and loving our thoughts of ourselves and loving our thoughts of one another, thoughts of our leaders and all that's going on right now. Let us raise and praise all that are on our prayer list, and those that may not be feeling well, lift them up in your heart and see them well, and knowing that our paths are all perfect. And so right here and right now, I just give the message of love, and that we just allow ourselves to be loving in this moment, in the service, in the here and now, in always and always. And with joy and gratitude, let this wonderful service begin. And so it is.
People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. The next stop that we make will be England.
Tell all the folks in Russia and China too.
Don't you know it's time to get on board and let this train keep on riding on through. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. Tell all the people over in Africa. Tell all the folks in Egypt and Israel too.
Please don't miss this train at the station.
'Cause if you miss it, I feel sorry, so sorry for you. all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. Come, let it ride, let it ride, let it ride. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train.
What comes from the heart reaches the heart. Good morning and welcome to our Heartstream for this Sunday, August the 27th, 2023. Thank you for joining us this morning. You know, I love Open Heart. I am out here trying to beat the 100-degree weather that is present for us today. I am in a place where it is shady, but it's still hot. But I'm trying to get this done because it's been a pleasure to offer for you messages where I'm featuring some of the places around Memphis that are scenic and colorful and everything else. For me, it's a part of countering the narrative that is out there now that is so popular about Memphis being this awful and dangerous place to live. Yes, we do have our problems here, but there's also so much beauty to be found in this city. And I want to highlight that. And so I've taken the opportunity to do that in some of my videos in recent weeks. In fact, in all of them in recent weeks, I've tried to showcase Memphis and its beauty and the places around this city. I do want to take the opportunity this morning to ask that we would remember Cedric Morris and his family, his sister Cheryl, who transitioned, was funeralized on yesterday. We want to continue to hold the space for each and every one of them. Cedric, we love you and we know the contributions and everything else that you have made to Open Heart through your videos and everything else. We want to remember her and the rest of your family, and we also want to remember you as you continue to recover from all of your health challenges and everything else. Also want to say a word of congratulations to Krista right there. She was one of the nominees for Focus Magazine's Champion of the Year Awards, and Krista, through her work as the director of The Haven, through Friends for Life, has done a tremendous work for the LGBTQ community and plus and for the cause of HIV/AIDS and awareness and understanding so many wonderful things that Krista does. And we already know, because we know that The Haven that we are using for our fellowships are offered by her out of her kindness. And speaking of such, we will begin on the next fourth Sunday, which is September, I believe it's the 24th. We will begin having once a month an in-person fellowship, fourth Sunday fellowship. We'll follow the same format that we've done the last two times, which is it will be informal. There will be a gathering at 2 p.m. at The Haven at 662 Minor Road, and it will be an opportunity for us to have prayer, meditation, some other activities, but it's a way for us to share together in a way where we have that open heart energy and that open heart family and vibration that comes together. So again, congratulations, Krista, and we look forward to on the fourth Sunday, you being with us for that in-person fourth Sunday fellowship. Our Heartstream will still go on that day. As a matter of fact, we'll have a special guest speaker that morning, but we will talk about that. Also want to highlight the fact that our own Villa Willis will be the guest speaker at Unity Christian Church for 2 Sundays in September. You can see those dates listed here and the information listed here. And if you have a chance to to support Villa, please do so. I will be speaking on that 4th Sunday in September, also there at Unity Christian Church. But we're supporting our sister congregation as they are in the process of finding a new ministry. So we are doing what we can to support them. In terms of support, thank you for all of your support, the ways in which financially you support us, the ways in which you continue to show up for this Heartstream. Please, 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 when you have the opportunity, share it with others. There's a post on social media about the upcoming Heartstreams. You share those if you like them, you tell other people about them. Thank you for the ways in which you show up for our prayer call, your prayers, your text messages, other ways in which you let us know how vitally important Open Heart is to you and how what it is that we are doing matters. So I greet you, I bless you, I see God in you.
Our affirmation for the month of August: an ever-expanding aliveness. I let go of all limiting beliefs about myself. There is within me an ever-expanding aliveness. Infinite and eternal life is my life now and always. And so it is.
Today is a day like no other day. Just think and you'll know that it's true. Days like today should be holidays. So I'm singing this message to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Just have a happy day.
Today's a new day, but there is no sunshine. Nothing but clouds, and it's dark in my heart, and it feels like a cold night. Today's a new day, but where are my blue skies? Where is the love and the joy that was promised me? Tell me it's alright. I almost gave up, but a power that I can't explain
Hallelujah. Woo.
Work with that.
Hallelujah.
Good morning, Open Heart. Today's affirmative reading comes from the daily reading from the Science of Mind magazine. Love dissolves all fear. Greater than fear is love. Love dissolves all fear, casts out all doubt, and sets the captive free. Love, like the river of life, flows through me and refreshes me with its eternal blessings. Love cannot be afraid. It is fearless and strong and is mighty in its works. It can accomplish all things through the inner light of that faith in the all good, which fills my very being with a powerful presence. Today's affirmation: love casts out all fear.
Once again, it's time for our announcements. Hope you will find out more about what's happening with our spiritual center. We're so glad that you have joined us today. At Open Heart, we believe in the power of affirmative prayer. Each and every individual and family you see represented here, we continue to pray for you. Our prayer team each morning remembers you, and we hold the space for you, as well as all of you who are a part of our Open Heart family. There are several ways to give to Open Heart: through our Cash App at OHSC901, online at OHSC901.com, or text the word GIVE to 615-422-4292. Coming very soon will be our Lessons from the Heart, where it will be an opportunity for you to learn more about our principles and the practices that we use here at Open Heart through video lessons that you'll be able to access at any time. Look forward to this learning opportunity for each and every one of you. Begin or continue your day with prayer through our daily affirmative prayer call every morning at 8 a.m. Central Time, 901-586-8755. The Memphis Area Women's Council, of which our own Judy Carter is a board member, presents its 12th annual Walk a Mile in Her Shoes, the Men's March to Stop Rape, Sexual Assault, and Gender Violence, on Tuesday, September the 19th at the University of Memphis, and meet in front of the Ramses II statue on Central. Registration begins at 4 p.m. and the rally at 5:15 and the walk at 5:30. Pre-registration is available at memphiswomen.org. It's $15, $10 for students, and U of M students are free with ID. The first 250 people to register will get a t-shirt. Judy says that there are shoes available, but you don't have to walk in high heels if you don't want to. But if you choose to, there are plenty of large sizes that will be available for you. So let's support this activity to stop rape, sexual assault, and gender violence. Congratulations to Krista Wright Thayer for being a nominee for the Focus Magazine's Focus Awards 2023, the Champion of the Year Awards. Krista being recognized for her work as an advocate for HIV, prevention, care, safety, and for the LGBTQ community with her leadership at The Haven. Congratulations, Krista. You are certainly a winner in our book. Our own Villa Willis is a speaker for Unity Christian Church in Whitehaven. Today, I mistakenly said both were in September, but today at 11 a.m. and again on September the 3rd at 11 a.m. at 3345 McCorkle Road. Hey. life am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork of the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the help of mind and body to live the life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
I am the
I am
place,
the place where God
you
lives,
are the
moves and
place,
breathes and has its
we are the
being. I am the place
where God shows up. I am the
I
place,
am the place where God
you
lives,
are the
moves and
place,
breathes and has
we
its
are the
being.
place
I am the place
where God shows up.
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
I am the
I am the place where God
you
lives,
are the
moves and breathes and has its
we
being. I am the place where God shows up.
I am the place,
I am the place where God
you
lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
I tell you it
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
All right. I got the t-shirt. It says I'm the place. I bought it from his website. It says I'm the place where God. Do you have a fear of outshining? Yes, outshining. I, like maybe some of you, when I first heard the term, thought I knew what it meant, but I was not quite sure. There were a number of New Thought communities, Open Heart being one of them, that began studying the book The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And as a part of that, he talked about what he calls your zone of genius. And that is where you're able to do things without a lot of effort, that things sort of flow. It's where you have your gifts, your talents, and your graces. And he talked about the reasons why people oftentimes don't live in their zone of genius, and one of them was the fear of outshining. And as soon as he mentions that, and as I read that, I understood what it was that he was saying. I thought about back in my sixth grade year, in my class, I had a teacher, Mrs. Gensler, who was concerned about us as students, that we weren't getting the material that she was giving us. So one day she decided that she was going to try a 2-week project with us. Each day for those 2 weeks, she was going to give us lectures on history and social studies, and she was going to provide us the opportunity to take extensive notes, and she was going to let us know what to expect on the exam. So each day, she in fact did that. I sat there, however, not taking notes. She noticed that, but she didn't say anything to me. I wasn't taking notes. After a while, I happened to, she helped me to write poetry. I had a poem that was published in the newspaper, as a matter of fact. But I sat there and I started writing poems. At the end of the 2 weeks, got to that Friday, it was test day. We all were nervous about the test, but she promised us that if you all pass the test, if you do well on the test, I'm going to throw a big party for you on Monday. So we all took a deep breath. We took the test. Class was over. It was a weekend. Then we got to school that Monday. We were all excited about what kind of party that we would probably have. We were trying to guess what kind of ice cream and what kind of cake that she would probably have for us. When we walked in the classroom that morning, we noticed that there was nothing there. No cake, no ice cream, no decorations, nothing, no signs of a party. Ms. Gensler had a really sour look on her face, and we could tell she was in a sour mood. And as class began, she said to us, "I'm really disappointed because I thought by giving you all the notes and letting you all know what was going to be on the exam, the test, that you all would do a better job." She said, "But only one person in this class passed, and that person got a D. Everyone else failed." And people in the class were looking at me because I've been the person who had been known for knowing all the answers and everything else and had been doing well in the class. And some of them kind of snickered because they were thinking, well, I got a D. And so when she passed them out, I noticed she didn't give me my test back. And another person was the one who showed, their paper. They were the one that got the D. And so after class, she called me up and she handed me my test. And when I looked at the test, I noticed that there was an A minus. And she said to me, "The reason why I didn't give you your test back in front of the others, and I didn't want you to say anything, is because I've noticed that your classmates are starting to resent you because you are doing well in the class. You seem to know the answers. This doesn't seem to be a challenge to you. And I noticed that they are starting to resent you. And I noticed that they are also picking on you. And I don't want you to be the target of their bullying, the target of their picking on you. So that's why I didn't give this to you in front of all of your other classmates." And she went on to work with my parents and everything. And the next year, I got transferred to a school where she thought it would be more of a challenge to me. But I took away from that, while she was well-meaning and well-intentioned, what I took away from that was the feeling and the idea that sometimes I did not want to try and do my best because I didn't want other people to resent me. I didn't want to make other people feel bad. I didn't want to put other people in that. And that really was the idea of the fear of outshining, the fear of putting other people in a place and space where they resent you or you are outdoing them, outshining them, and not wanting to do that. And I know that I'm not alone in that because I remember a conversation with a person who talked about the process where she went to school, the same school as her big sister. And her big sister was several years older from her. and she found that she was in most of the same classes that her sister had been in, had most of the same teachers, and they were always talking about what a great student her big sister was, how smart her big sister was, and she said she knew that she actually was probably smarter than her big sister and could do even better in those subjects because she asked, as a matter of fact, had actually helped her big sister with some of her lessons. But because she didn't want to outshine her big sister, she held back. She didn't do all that she could because, again, the fear of outshining. I remember talking to a principal at one of the impoverished inner city schools here in Memphis, and she talked about the fact. She said, "I really hate to do this, but I have students that every year that are high school seniors, and as they get ready to graduate, they've got college scholarships. Some of them have athletic scholarships, others have academic scholarships." And she said, "I sit down and I talk with them, and I hate to have to tell them this, but I do. I tell them that once you go off to school, don't come back home." She said, it might sound harsh, but what I have discovered is that a lot of them, when they go off to school, when they come back home on the holiday breaks and everything else, that a lot of the people in their neighborhoods and a lot of people in their family that didn't get the opportunity that they did, they will try to bring them down. So in order to fit in order not to look like a sellout, they start getting involved in the things that their friends and relatives do. And ultimately, before it's time to go back into school, they get in some type of trouble or something happens and they end up losing their scholarship. They end up losing all of their opportunities and they are stuck back with everybody else, again, because of the fear of outshining. So it's important for us this morning to understand that we can say that we're not concerned about what other people think, but that is a tall order. It is something that we really have to get a hold of and really understand that within us, there is that desire very often for us to be able to get along with other people, to be accepted by other people, for have other people think well of us. And we have to really work on the process where we are not swayed by the opinions of others, whether they are good or whether they are bad. We have to understand this and be in that place. I know some of you are familiar with the book by Terry Cole Whitaker, What You Think of Me Is None of My Business. And that's true. That ultimately, the only person that we have to be concerned about and the only person that we have to, if you will, report to is ourselves. We have to be in that place and in that position where we understand and where we know that is, I believe it's Shakespeare, to thine own self be true. When we understand this, when we understand that we are God in expression. You hear me say this all the time, but it's not just a slogan. It's not just something that I say. It's not just one of those new thought things that we say, but ultimately we are God in expression. And ultimately what we owe in this case, if you will, and when I say oh, I'm using the term loosely, but we have our responsibility is to be the best that we can be. Sounds like the army, but to be the best that we can be, we have to be the ones who actually show up authentically in the world. Because guess what? Nobody can outbe you being you. And you ought to be the best you that you can be. You ought to bloom where you are planted. And so that's very, very mightily important to me. The song that you heard this morning, I Am the Place Where God Shows Up. When we first were learning that song, I was very clear in rehearsal because I was hearing some of my other members of Voices from the Heart saying, I am a place where God shows up. And I stopped everybody and I said, this might seem trivial to you, but it's important that we get the word the in there, that I am the place where God shows up. And the idea is that because you are a unique and individualized expression of God, that it's important that in the expression that you are, that you show up in that manner and in that fashion, because nobody else can show up like you. Nobody else has the gifts that you do. Nobody else has the talents that you do. Nobody can do things quite the way that you can. So you are not a place, you are the place for you, for your particular unique individualized expression where God shows up. And when we do that, then we begin living lives that discard the fear of outshining and get past that, and we move beyond those things. When I was running track in high school, I can remember a meet that we had where it was one of our league meets, and we had a relay that was the final race that was going to put us in the top rankings. If we won or placed in that, we would be in the top 3 in our league, and it was important to us. It was a sense of bragging rights and of pride. And I can remember that relay race, and as we were coming down to the end, it was obvious on the last leg that we were not going to win the race. And I can remember one of my teammates got the baton and he was running, but he saw that there were 2 other schools that were ahead of him. And as he got toward the finish line, he actually stopped. And as he did so, a runner from another school ran past him, past the finish line. So instead of us getting 3rd place, we actually got 4th place. And I can remember the assistant track coach, Brother Grundish, yes, I went to a Catholic high school, Brother Grundish, running out on the field going, Stone, why did you stop? And he grabbed the baton from him. And Stone thought he was going to hit him with the baton because he was known for doing that. But he grabbed the baton from him and he asked him, why did you stop right there? He said, well, I saw we weren't going to win, so I just decided, what the heck? So he stopped. And he told him, but do you realize that while we weren't going to get 1st place, that all of the other people, the other 3 people that went ahead of you, gave their all. They ran as hard and as fast as they could, and you owed it to them, and you owed it to yourself to also to finish the race, to run as hard and as fast as you can. And I remember that again as another life lesson, again thinking about the fact that we are the place where God shows up, and we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to the divine expression. You've heard it said that what you are is a gift from God. What you make of what you are yourself is your gift to God. It's our way of truly being that. In the 11th chapter of Hebrews, where it has the roll call of the faithful, and it talks about all of the people in Jewish history and heritage who were their heroes of faith. And it talks about at the end how they died in faith and how they didn't obtain what had been promised to them, but they are looking to us so that without us, they won't be made perfect, but with us, they will be made perfect, in that we are living their dreams. We are living our ancestors' dreams. We are the place where God shows up. So in each and every opportunity and circumstance that we get, we ought to show up as the best that we can be. We ought to show up with the understanding and the awareness that our gifts, our talents, whether it's writing that book, whether it's drawing, whether it's being compassionate and being there for someone else, whether it's speaking a kind word, whether it's standing up and speaking, whether it's singing, whether it's dancing, whether it's running, whether it's performing, whether it's comforting, whether it's guiding, whether it's offering wisdom, whatever else it is that we're able to do it and to show up in the best way that we can. That is when we truly give ourselves permission to be great. And when we give ourselves permission to be great, then we truly become great. And so it is. And amen. And ashe.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient, and I didn't know that the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you got to let it go. Let it all go.
Let it go.
And this is what you have to say.
I release and I let go. I let
more struggles and no more strife. With my faith, I see the light.
I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go.
I let go.
The Spirit.
I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. I'm only here for God. No more struggles. No more struggles. No more strife. With my faith, I see the light.
Free in the Spirit.
Here in the Spirit, I'm only here for God.
I release.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. I'm only here for God. No more struggles and no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. In the Spirit, I'm only here for God.
Every day we're born again to create this world we live in. So now let's claim our good and speak our word.